Broker IPTV.
Today we're talking with Michael Robinson from Robinson and Henry Law Practitioners. Michael, welcome to the show. Thanks for being with us.
Glad to be here.
We had you on a previous segment and we were talking about deeds and the different types of deeds. We went through the standard 6, but at the end we started talking about a very old method in which they used to transfer property, and it was called Livery of Seisin. Is that correct?
It sure is, and that's where the word deed actually comes from, is that action.
All right, real quick, what is Livery of Seisin recap?
Okay, because most people were illiterate in England at the time this thing developed, they would bring witnesses out to the property, and witnesses would be able to witness the buyer giving money, the seller giving over the actual physical parts of the property, namely turf and twig, which is the two things that it's called a turf and twig ceremony.
All right, so for a first time ever on Broker IPTV, we'll do a reenactment here.
I think it's an excellent idea.
So what we're going to do is, we're in Old England, and we're going to transfer property, and of course we have to dress the part. Now, am I the buyer or the seller?
You are the buyer.
And you're selling me this land?
Yes, and we've come out here with two witnesses
to
watch all this happening.
And how does this procedure go?
Okay. You're going to start by cutting out a piece of turf on the property.
All right, so we'll just...
And you hold on to that turf.
I hold on the turf, okay.
Now, put money in the hole.
All right, I got some cash. How about a buck for this?
A buck works here. It's a couple shillings back in Old England.
Okay.
Okay, and then hand me the sod.
This piece?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
And I take the twig.
Yes.
And I take the sod, and I say this following: "This turf and twig I give to thee, as free as Athelstan gave to me, and I hope a loving brother that will be." And I twiggle you with the twig.
Really?
Yes, I do. And then I put it in the sod and I hand it to you.
Thank you.
And then you take the sod and put it back in the hole.
All right.
And with that, you just bought this wonderful property.
And I've been twiggled.
Yes, you have.
Wow.
And the reason for that was so that blind people could still buy and sell property even if they couldn't see what was going on. They knew that they were at least getting the twig, and they knew that they were getting the property.
Well, that's a heck of a lot easier than the 3-hour closing today.
Yeah. In Pennsylvania, the entire state of Pennsylvania was purchased exactly this way by William Penn.
Really?
Yes. And there's a statue of him in Delaware, actually, which is across the river from Pennsylvania, where he actually did this turf and twig ceremony.
All right, last but not least, could this be recorded?
Yes, and that's actually what happened was at a later time when we started moving more towards recording of deeds, they would get the witnesses and they would get them to sign an affidavit saying that they had done this particular thing and that they had witnessed that this happened. They witness an action. They witness a deed occurring. You did a deed.
Yes.
Or I did a deed by giving it to you. And that's actually where the word deed comes from, and all the other deeds that we have today. And this thing, and most of this stuff, if you think about it, still exists today in modern real estate. When you go to a closing, there are other witnesses, one of which is the notary public. And almost always when you go to a closing at the end, the buyer hands the keys to the seller, which is the...
Well, I'm going to twiggle my buyer at my next closing. Michael, thanks so much for the information. I appreciate it.
Find more real estate videos at brokeriptv.com.